we're here with Galen Rupp ahead of the Chicago Marathon. This is going to be your 7th time traversing the streets of Chicago, correct?
Yeah.
What sets this one apart from the 6 previous?
I don't know. I'm always pumped to come run here. It's the energy around the city is fantastic. The weather's good. It looks like it's going to be pretty good on Sunday, and I have so many fond memories of coming here. Even when I was a kid, before I was even into running at all. And my dad's from here, and so I love this city, and I'm really grateful every chance I get to come compete here.
You mentioned just the feeling in the air, this magic, this energy. How's that kind of help translate to athletes on the course? You've run it multiple times, just having that, general feel and flow out there.
Oh, it's great. The crowds really carry you through. I think the cool part about Chicago is it's kind of like 3 out and backs, and so there is a ton of support. It's easy to break that up. You see a lot of runners sometimes, on various parts of the course, and this one's like no other. I love it.
Talk to me what this build's been like and how you've kind of prepared for this race in particular.
Yeah, it's this one I had surgery a little over a year ago on my hip, so for a while it's just a lot of rehab, getting back to moving cleaner and strengthening a lot of places where I lost some as a result of having to take some time off. But it's been going good. I'm really, more than anything, I'm happy to just be healthy, starting on the line, not have stuff hurt, and I'm really excited, to see what Sunday brings. My mechanics have changed a lot and gotten a lot better. I've cleaned up a lot of stuff there, and again, this is hopefully this is a great building block for the next couple coming forward.
What do you kind of attribute to helping your mechanics kind of improve, get better? I mean, obviously, after a surgery, I'm sure you probably underwent some rehab and different things. What are some of the big things you really focused on to make sure that, obviously, 39, you keep continuing to just be at the top level?
I mean, it's just flexibility and strength. It's finding great people, smart people that can look at things. I've leaned a lot on some of the stuff with Nike, looking at things with different cameras and mechanically force plates and all that stuff. And so it's cool to have hard data. I think that it's one thing subjectively just feeling better, but when you have things that can actually go and show, hey, you are much better than you were several months ago, that's really reassuring as an athlete. But yeah, it's just a lot of PT, a lot of lifting, a lot of stretching. That's really all it is, as far as getting things cleaned up. But, these aren't things that are new. I've constantly prided myself, on my form, even when I was healthy before this. And, you're always kind of tinkering. Your body is such a dynamic thing. It's always changing. I'll be different a month from now than I am today. And so it's, addressing and finding those issues and then really just attacking them head on is the biggest thing to keeping things clean with your movement.
Obviously, coming back off the injury and all the rehab, what are you hoping for at the race this weekend?
I think just want to have a really good, solid race. I've got a good plan with Mike, I think, and a goal in there that I'm going to keep to myself. But I'm really, really excited to see what Sunday brings. It's certainly been a long road, but again, I'm excited to be back out there on the starting line. It's been tough, the last year watching it, doing some of the commentary stuff and seeing it from the sidelines. I've been itching to get out there for a while, so it's really cool that it's coming up.
What's it like having Mike in your corner now full time? Obviously, he was kind of doing the NAU pro athlete duo, and now he's totally focused on FloTrack Club. What's that like just to have him there?
Yeah. Well, Mike's always been 100% all in. He always he makes time for everyone. I don't sometimes know how that guy gets any rest, or it's just he's so busy. And I think just being able to focus on Swoosh TC now, he's definitely got a little bit more time, but he's all in. It's that time that maybe isn't as dedicated to college. It's just more time that he's dedicated to getting all of us running well. And he had a really good World Championships. We got a great group down there, and it's awesome. I love the guy more so than anything else. He's just so straightforward, so caring, just a great person, on top of being super smart and a great coach. So anytime you have someone like that, that's a good person to have in your corner.
What's it been like having a guy like that in your corner, just obviously through an injury and just at this point in your career, just knowing he's going to kind of come back to you and just be the guy that's there?
He's been great, and mentally too. Just being able to talk to him, his perspective on things. I think as an athlete, sometimes you get so wrapped up sometimes in your feelings and you hyperanalyze things, and having someone, whether it's a coach or just anybody support system that you can talk to, give you a super honest perspective, but a really caring one, and he knows when to give me that encouragement, knows when I need a kick in the butt, and it's everything to have someone like that you trust wholly, with your career.
Awesome. And then, obviously, goat in American distance running that you are. What kind of advice do you have for those people that are traversing the marathon, maybe for the first time, or just Chicago in general, anything out there on that course?
Yeah, I think at this point it's about trusting your training. I'll never forget the first marathon I ran. The first run I think I had done before that was 20 miles, and I was scared to death. How I was going to deal with those last 6, and I didn't know. Alberto, my coach at the time, was telling me, like, you got to trust your training. It's going to hurt, but you can get through it. And you've got to always remember that. No matter how hard it hurts, you've got to keep finding a way to keep pushing. And, the marathon is a little different than track, where, it's kind of this, you're in this amount of discomfort, and it kind of just stays there for a really, really long time. And so learning to be okay with that discomfort for a really long time and being able to sit with it is a big thing. And also, for anybody new to the marathon, just don't go out too fast. I think that it's such a long ways. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the excitement, especially at a major like Chicago, where you got so much fan support, so much energy around you. Go out even a little bit more conservative than what you think. And, you get to halfway and you're feeling good. That's okay. You don't need to be hurting at halfway. You still got a long ways to go. I don't think there's many people that finish a marathon and say, I wish I'd gone out harder. So by and large, most of them are saying, I wish I'd gone a little more conservatively. So get to halfway, check in with yourself. It's okay to feel good. You can run the hell out of that last half. You can run the hell out of the last 6 miles, and you're going to gain more from doing that than going out too hard and dying and hanging on at the end.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Galen.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.